we have get some news from certain schools. First of all, there are students who had an exchange tour in Wuhan. They come back and they've fallen ill. As to whether they are not feeling well because of this disease, we are concerned. And then school principals have asked me as to where they can get the facial masks, because it is getting very difficult to get them. So, Secretary, can you not tell us the following? Now, what about the risk posed to the schools in relation to the outbreak of the disease? What should be done? And what about the assistance to be provided by the Bureau? And then not too long ago, the Education Bureau has issued a circular to ask teachers and students not to put on a facial mask when they go to school. What is your latest position? Can you clarify this point? I'd like to thank Honorable Yip Kin Yuen for your question. In response to the cluster of viral pneumonia cases in Wuhan of unknown cause, the Department of Health and the Center of, for Health Protection have already written to the Education Bureau, and they have also got input at the meeting of the steering committee that I chair, so they are kept abreast of the latest position. The Department of Health has also written to the Education Bureau. My understanding is that the Education Bureau, on the 3rd of January, wrote to all the school principals, reminding the school authorities that, first of all, they should be aware of the latest position. They should be on high alert. Secondly, certain guidelines have been mentioned, like hand hygiene. And then in the case of students not feeling well, what school authorities can do in response. And certain health guidelines and advice have also been given. Well, against such a background, of course, for the Department of Health, when it comes to the question of wearing facial masks, the Department of Health has its health advice and also advice on how to wear the facial mask properly. If you're not feeling well, if you visit a hospital, then of course you need to put on a facial mask. And in the light of what is happening, the public health advice is such that for the letter issued from us to the Education Bureau and the letter from Education Bureau to the schools, the details have been set out. Now, for the supply of facial masks, as to whether there is a shortage in the market, as I have said, the Department of Health has liaised with the Trade Association for Pharmacies. We have been told that indeed there is a tight supply, but then orders have been placed and further supplies will be made available. We'll be keeping up the liaison with the Education Bureau. If the Bureau has got any questions, they can always make use of the forum, namely the steering committee that I chair, and they can raise questions and ask for advice from the Department of Health as well as the Center for Health Protection in a timely fashion.